Welcome back. Thank you so much to the newspaper review team for staying tuned with, and thank you for staying tuned with us. Now is time for us to get back into the conversation of emotional affairs and relationships and marriages. And I'm so excited because I've said so much earlier on the show, but now it's time for me to have a conversation with a professional that will be breaking down this conversation for me. I have Dr. Gladys Nwankwo. She has a BS in Home Economics, Postgraduate Diploma in Theology, Bible Counseling, PhD in Philosophy. She is a marriage mentor and she is a relationship coach. She's an expert in this particular conversation. And we've already started having conversations before the show started. Good morning, ma'am. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
God bless you.
Amen.
Thank you for having me too.
Well, ma'am, I must ask you this question. Like, I read through your profile. It is so impressive. But then you added on relationship, mentorship, and all of that. Why?
Yeah, actually, we are turning our purpose into pursuit now. And we've noticed that relationship is the key of success, of happy home. Relationship is the key if you want to live your life to the fullest. No man is an island. So that is why we had to get into that course. And today we are coach, me and my husband. And the relationship programs are what people need now in marriage, the singles, both male, female in schools, even the CEOs. Relationship is what started the world by the Most High God. So nobody is an island, you know. So when you talk about relationship and then mentoring and then counseling, they're all embracing. And when you bring it down to the home, you notice that there won't be a good and positive relationship if there is anarchy, if there's war, if there's trouble, if people live as neighbors in their house. There's no relationship in that at all. So relationship is what everybody should understand and know that it takes two to tango. And if you're not relating well, there's a negative vibe in that home. You don't need anybody to tell you. Even visitors will notice it. Your body language will notice it.
Yeah.
You will feel it also that there is a negative relationship. And that atmosphere will never be conducive for one. Child rearing, child upbringing, and then if there's no good relationship in the home, the man or the woman is bound to die early. Yeah, because it will elucidate some sicknesses.
Interesting.
Cancer, ulcer, high blood pressure, name it, even heart attack. These things, they are all embracing, they are all embedded in negative relationship going on in a family.
We started a conversation this morning, and I will just give you a quick brief on it. So it's about a man, and he's married. He has a child. According to him, he's an artist. He's home. He's like a stay-at-home dad because his wife has like a 9-to-5. She provides for the family and all of those things, and he's content. She's doing all that she's meant to do as a partner. They have a child, so they're living a good life. However, there's this lady that saw him on social media and just messaged him that, oh, his art is beautiful. And they started talking, and they started, talking every day on every social media platform, on FaceTime, on emails, and all of that. And then emotions started, emotions started growing between the both of them. They've been talking for about 3 months. They've never met physically. And then so one time he had to tell her that he likes her. He has a crush on her. However, he had informed her that he's married and he has no plans whatsoever to divorce his wife. And then she didn't have a crush on him at that period, but they were always talking. So they decided to meet. probably when they meet, the sparks will leave. Probably when they finally see, maybe all that he has been thinking is a facade because he had never met her. And then, you know, the thing about packaging and all of that. Then they finally meet. But she asked him if he still likes her. And he said, yes, in fact, it has doubled. He likes her even more. And because of this, because they've been talking day in, day out, she also started liking him. And then one time, he told her that he loved her, and she told him that he loved her too. Please note, he is married. And then one day, after so much conversations between the both of them and all of those things, she had to ask him that, okay, so what's the next phase now? Do you love your wife? He says, well, he wished that he had met this lady that is not his wife earlier before he met his own wife, because he really loves her, but he doesn't love his wife, but he cares for his wife. His wife provides for him and all of those things, but this lady is there for him emotionally and all of that. And then she told him that, okay, if that is the case, then you can actually divorce your wife, settle yourself, get a job. In about a year, while you're settled, we can now get married and then have our family together. And then he said no, that he doesn't want to divorce his wife because he doesn't want a situation whereby his child will grow up in a broken home, because he grew up in a broken home and he doesn't want to do that, but he's in love with her. And then she had to sit herself down and have a conversation with herself that maybe this is not how I should go about it, that he has never said anything bad about his wife. Maybe his wife is doing all that he's supposed to, but he's just looking for more outside. And then she got herself out of that situation. And we realized that we have a lot of situations out there where, in fact, at some point, the lady gets stuck, she knows, but then she's hoping that one day this man is going to divorce his wife, or sometimes it's the other way around. This woman will divorce her husband and come and be with me and all of that. And then they remain there in that relationship and it becomes a messy situation now. So the conversation this morning is on emotional affairs. So this question, who is to be blamed for this particular story I've narrated in this whole situation? Who should be blamed for this?
Okay, thank you so very much. One thing we should know today is that there's no need for blame shifting.
All right.
Both of them are at fault. But the person that first told the lady, that could be the man, I like you, from I like you, I love you, and you spend some time with somebody else's wife on the internet and all that, you are just bringing out your marriage on the line for the marriage to be scattered. There's what we call boundaries in relationships. If you don't set your boundary very well, for instance, the CEOs, I know a lot of them, they meet with the high and the mighty, and these are married men. If they're not disciplined and set boundaries for themselves, there's an evil at the ticket. There's the enemy at the ticket that is eyeing that marriage. And then when the devil comes, he will scatter the marriage. So my take on this is this: whosoever that is married, keep to your wife, keep to your husband, and if there's a relationship, maybe your fellow colleague, your CEO, bring the matter to the table. Let your wife know about it. Let your husband know about it. And when you people are talking together, pass the phone to your husband. Yes,
okay.
If there's no hidden agenda. Or you pass it to your wife if there's no hidden agenda. And if there's an invitation, if there's no hidden agenda, I repeat, both of you should go for that invitation. You can't tell me that there's this business deal we're having. Honey, 11:30 p.m. honey, there's this business deal. She just flew in from Dubai and I got to go. Where are you going, Tony? I got to go talk to her. In fact, there's this deal we need to sign, $157 billion. So what? And because of that, you want to wreck your home? It doesn't add up. So it's time for us to understand that two shall be one, right?
All right.
And then, when it comes to business, relationships, when it comes to emotional attachments, draw the line. Don't get so emotionally attached that you will not begin to see the other person better than your wife. And if the person, if the man, if you notice that it is coming closely, begin to withdraw. Begin to withdraw from that relationship and get yourself built up back again. You know, love grows. You nurture love. You let your wife know that she is all that matters to you. You let your wife know that you are his head, but that the wife should also know that she is your helpmeet, right?
Yes.
And then that both of you should work together.
Yes.
Because if there's no togetherness in that relationship, somebody can come in and break the intimacy. And that is where problem comes in. The man, whosoever that started with the word, I like you. I tell you a scenario of somebody in the United States. He had a very good home, beautiful family, right? But he saw himself beginning to go to the basement. And I want to warn the men and the women. When you begin to see yourself separating yourself to a different room, to the basement with this laptop and the internet issues, you have to check it. Because if you don't check it, that was how this man wrecked his marriage. By meeting somebody on the internet, meeting somebody online. By the time they knew where they were, the man had packed out of his matrimonial home and gone to live with this woman till tomorrow. So when I met this lady, I told her, you better better yourself. You better add value to yourself. You better go back to school. Rearrange yourself. Like John Maxwell will say, option B is very important. Rearrange yourself and put yourself together again and begin to refire and begin to do what you need to do as a woman. Keep on kneeling, keep on kneeling until the miracle comes.
Okay, so I need to ask you this. We have this popular thing that, there's this thing that's going on everywhere, that a married person should not have a friend that is unmarried. Or a married person should not have an opposite sex as a close friend or as a best friend. You know, it's easy for, people to have best friends as single people, but when you get married and you have another partner, your best friend should be your partner on all of those things. Is that right? Is that something that we should consider?
Yes. For you to save your life, save your home, and for you to be at peace, man is a social animal. You get what I'm saying? And then, people view life in different perspectives.
Yes.
For instance, in the scenario in my home, we've married for 36 years.
Wow.
Yes. And
congratulations.
yes, and then my husband is an easygoing person. He's a friendly person from the university. Me too. And then both of us have no skeleton in our cupboard. His friends, I know them. He knows my friends because we are relationship people. And then because you meet people every time, there should be no restriction. You get what I'm saying? Depending on your profession. But if the single sister is eyeing your husband, that's wrong. If the married man is eyeing another person's wife, that's also wrong. So if you know that you cannot contain your emotion by having that male friend, that maybe is your male friend because of religious things going on between you people, or because of your business activities and all that, and you notice that I am lost in after this person. It's like I am deviating. I am losing balance emotionally. You call it a quit. For the sake of your marriage, you call it a quit. But another scenario is that there are women that are jealous. Yeah, in their jealousy, they want to monitoring gadget. They want to my husband. It has to be this, because they are afraid that somebody is trying to inch in to take over.
Okay.
And so because of that, they don't want any single girl. And that is also very important. A man that knows his frailty, that knows his weak points, should not have a single lady. as his secretary.
So a man that knows his weak point shouldn't have single female employees.
As a secretary, I mean personal,
a PA.
You know, it's wrong.
Okay.
And then if a woman too that knows her frailty, you know, these young men, educated young men now, they are too active and too up there.
Wow.
They want to be your PA and PA you into hell. You just, you don't let them do that.
All right.
Let them know that, listen, there is the head behind me here.
All right.
And introduce your husband immediately to any relationship you are into. Introduce your wife immediately to any relationship you are into. Even some of them will tell you, please forget that thing. We are going somewhere. I mean, we are not talking religion here.
Yes.
There's something that has to do like incupus and succubus. There's no discussion, there's no text message, there's no phone call. You just see somebody you are vibing in. What are you vibing into for? And this is a married person. And you're looking at the person and you're already thinking of how to come into the family. And you go out to say, here I'm entering. It's not your place. So the man should have a boundary and take his position as the head of the family. And then if there's a business that is involved in that relationship with the opposite sex or with the married woman, let it be properly spelled out.
All right.
Because I've seen some women that have spelled out their relationship and some married men that have spelled out their relationship with the opposite sex, and there is no chaos and there is no trouble. Everything is moving on smoothly. Where the problem is, I must tell you, is where the man and the woman, the married couple, refuse to be one.
Okay.
Because of maybe the stubbornness of the woman.
Oh, really?
Maybe because of the rebellion of the woman. Maybe because of this feminist thing that is going on now.
Mom, you're against feminism.
So don't let me get there.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Let's go on.
you know, so you're like equal rights. We are the same part. No. If you decide to be together with your spouse, there will not be any emotional trauma.
Interesting.
There will not be any emotional pain. You just decide to say, okay, I am here. But I'm not going to be here like somebody in bondage. My spouse is not going to be here like somebody in bondage. We have to leverage. We have to relax and be happy, understanding that I know my husband's next move. He knows my next move. And you move along together. And you try to disabuse your mind of suspicion, suspecting your husband. When he comes back, you pick up the phone. Titi Layo called you. John Hagee called. Oh, who called you now? What's going on here? At times you will call him. Network is a problem, right? But you begin to say, God, he's gone with Titi. He didn't go anywhere with Titi. It is network. And you'll be in the house dying. Instead of you to be cooking good soup to wait for your husband to come home, you are just there, mournfully seated, crying, waiting for him to come back so that you can deal with it. You will die before your time. You will.
So, how can you manage emotional affairs? Ma'am, the truth is, a lot of people are stuck in this particular situation. In fact, you hear stories that, oh, this woman has been with this man that is married for 5-6 years, or this man has been with this woman that is married.
Doing what?
Having relationships, conversations, and all of those things, and in fact, somehow it is already tantamount to cheating because it's already, you know, going the other way. So how can you manage a situation like so? Now, I want us to we've addressed the married man because he should be responsible for his marriage. He's married. He has an obligation to his wife and his family. But how about the single woman? The single woman that is ready to mingle. I mean, there's this popular phrase in Lagos that, I mean, husbands are scarce, women should snatch any husband or any man that they see and all of that. So how do you address the single woman in this particular situation? How can she manage herself?
Yeah, the single woman What I have to tell her is that she should get busy with herself and leave the married man alone and wait for the appointed time. Something is being prepared for her. She should not be a husband snatcher. She will end up, when she gets her own husband in future, somebody else will snatch her husband from her.
Wow.
Yeah, because what you sow, you reap. So a single sister should put what on herself? Get herself disciplined and focus on what is important in her life. Have an agenda, have a plan, focus on what she's planning to do, pursue her dream and her purpose, and then be content with what she has, and then live her life full of meaning, knowing that there's somebody up there that is taking care of her, and that her time will come. Her time will come. If only she can leave the married man alone. Would she want until the married lady comes to the church or come to the mosque or comes to her place of work and beats her up, which is happening all over Lagos?
In fact,
the other day in Kenya, I saw I'm sorry for raising my voice.
It's okay, ma'am. It's all right.
I saw a scenario where two women fought and tore them their dresses because of one man. And the man was caught in the middle. He couldn't tell honey, let's go home. He couldn't tell the single girl, it's okay. Because he was the cause of the trouble. So at the end of the day, you notice that the marriage is heading to destruction. And then, you know what happens to the single ladies? They disappear. Yeah, they disappear after they cause the havoc. It's either I get you, man, or I scatter your home. No. Please, my advice to young ladies is put what on yourself.
Okay.
Yes, you should not go and marry a man that is already married. The man is getting down the grave. He's about to die. Leave him. Wait for your. And you know why they want to scatter marriages? Because, I'm sorry to use the word, most of our young ladies are lazy. They want already made home. Were you there when the couple were suffering? Were you there when they were building, when they were living in face me and face you? Were you there when they were managing their 1,000 naira to cook just okra and crayfish and gari? We were not there. Now, you don't know the history behind the glory. And now you just come from nowhere, and then see, now the man also, his wardrobe has changed. He's looking good with his Gucci wristwatch and these shiny shoes that came out now for them. These things are earthly. And then you say, oh, I'm going to get him. Get him for what? He's not your husband. You got to leave him alone and focus on what God wants you to be and to do. There's a spiritual being after your life. Look up to him. Let him give you direction. Shall I tell you something?
Yes,
Our
sir.
sisters are in pain. The single girls.
How, ma'am?
Yeah, because they have been misled. They have misunderstood this word, that it is survival of the fittest, even in marriage. So they want to pursue after a man that is already married. Because they say, I am 30. Hey, 35, 40. Oh, my season is about to end.
But shouldn't they? I mean, ma'am, let's take it back a little bit. There's this thing called societal pressure. Shouldn't they be worried? I mean, you would hear people say, "Oh, your biological clock is ticking. Once you're at this age, there's a high possibility that you're losing eggs, blah blah blah, and all of these things." Now, that's one. Secondly, there is the parental pressure that, "Oh, I want to have grandchildren. You're getting old. You have everything." In fact, when a lady is out of the university and already working, there's already, in some families, there's already that pressure on her shoulder that, when are you going to bring your boyfriend, when are you going to bring your fiance and your husband to the house, and all of those things, and they're already stressed and struggle. So shouldn't they feel that way?
My darling sister, during our own time, it happened like that. That you're finishing in the university, your parents are looking at you to bring a man home for marriage and stuff like that, you have to tell them the truth, that it will happen when it will happen.
Okay.
Don't allow anybody to push you into taking decisions that will backfire one day. Don't allow pressure, emotional pressure, family pressure, community pressure, peer group pressure to push you, or even, peer group pressure. Sex too is also like a pressure. Don't allow it to push you into taking decisions that are contrary. There are the dynamics of the ladies that the ladies should respect. And their dynamics, if they respect it like Esther, God will bless them. If they respect their personality as women of what, ladies of what, they will fly. They will fly. You focus. Do you know that people are watching us as ladies? They are watching us, and people are watching you. And one day, the person will just come. I've been watching you for 4 years, 3 years. Please, may I know you? And when a man says, please, may I know you, that is not yet marriage. That your 35 or 40 shouldn't cause you to carry your luggage and pack into the man's house. He will think that that's what you've been doing that had kept you not to have gotten married. I'm talking to my ladies now. They've got to put words on themselves and not allow anybody to dribble them. Because after the dribbling, the man will ask the person, please, can you go? And let me tell you too, there's something that is like a cataract that covers the eyes of any man that is married, that is going after a young girl that is single. And the single girl allowing such a man to have emotional attachment to you. It's also wrong. It's also wrong. This one I've seen, I will enter, madam, you finish marrying, go. I'm coming. Coming where? You got no right. You got no right.
Okay, so there's this final question I have to ask you before we go on the break. What is worse, emotional attachments or physical attachments when it has to do with infidelity? Because take it or leave it, once you're married, you shouldn't have a physical attachment with an outsider, because your wife is supposed to be an insider. Whomever it is that you're married to is an outsider. So, but then if you're having emotional, okay, I mean, we've already stated that emotional affairs is wrong. So, which is worse, emotional attachments or physical attachments?
By physical attachment, what do you mean?
We're talking about sex. We're talking about, the other things.
No, now emotional attachment is what brings you into physical attachments. You get what I'm saying?
But
when you wake up, don't wake up love until you're ready for it. Don't wake up your emotions. When we talk about, we are now into physical discussion.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
If somebody is serving you tea in the office, that's a physical attachment. Somebody is getting your file, that's a physical attachment. That is in the office setting. So that attachment should remain at the office level. When it gets into emotions, is when the young man, the man comes into the office with his tie not properly bowed. Now you are coming in to open the office. You are emotionally drained. Tears are rolling down your eyes, and you see your CEO with his tie not well kept. You coming close to say, let me butter your chair, and then you know that I'm missing you.
Okay, so there's a quick one that I need to tell you. So I hear men say that, so I mean, it's so sad that a lot of men, I am not generalizing because we have people that are pure, but a lot of men have now trivialized infidelity. They say it's a second nature. They say it's a man's nature to want to have another female because they are polygamous in nature. And that's not even where I'm getting to. You would hear something like, oh, you having sex with somebody outside your partner is nothing emotional, that there is no emotional attachments, that you can just go ahead and do it. How true is this?
They're just Satanists talking.
Wow.
Yes, it is pure, it is wrong, and it is wrong.
Wow.
Evil is evil. Let's call a spade a spade. What no emotional attachment? Who taught him to remove his undies? And she removed her own. And then they get into that relationship that deep. And he's saying there's nothing there. Who could have said that kind of nonsense? It is wrong. Because in relationship, this thing that has to do with purity, and then it depends also about, it has to do with your family background now and upbringing. It is wrong for somebody to say infidelity is the order of the day. It's not. And it will never be the order of the day. No matter how educated, no matter how knowledgeable, no matter how people paint it this season, it is from the pit of hell.
I am so happy that we had this conversation this morning.